Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. Fredbear, and welcome to another episode of Costume Creations, where I show you guys my costumes and creations. Today we're going to be looking at how I made Bon Bon. So, let's get right into it. So, I don't have some of the starting pictures of me cutting him out of cardboard, so here's where we're going to start. I built his face and the sides of his face and his ears, like you can see at the top of his ears, out of cardboard. You can also see the drawing of his muzzle out of cardboard. But yeah, so I started building him out of cardboard, and I started building him around the same time I built Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy needs his friend. So here's another view. You can see that I was just filling out the sides of the ears, and I was covering everything in fabric. So the shape of Bon Bon's head and stuff is all just cardboard. Then we can see that I built up cardboard for his muzzle, and then I used this stuff that's like puzzle piece foam. It's like used for, you put your weights on it, or little kids like playmat foam kind of, but I used it in black, and I cut out a piece for his nose, some of it painted silver for his ears, to attach his ears on, and then another piece that would later be the joints for his upper ears. Here's another look at Bon Bon with his ears completely done, and the start of his jaw, of course made out of cardboard. And his ears are a little bit bent, and that's how they'd stay. So yeah, and you can see in the background there's Funtime Freddy, because they were being worked on at around the same time. Here's Bon Bon with his teeth and his little cheeks. Of course, his cheeks were made out of red fabric, and his teeth were actually made out of this thin white foam you can find at Michael's. It's foam, but it's as thin as paper, and you can buy sheets of it at Michael's for like 99 cents or something. And then I used ping pong balls for Bon Bon's eyes, and I drew on his little eye design. And here's a look at it on the inside, kind of like Count the Ways Bon Bon almost. But you can see that I used some of the floor foam inside of his mouth, and also I used a wooden dowel to connect his eyes so he can look up and down, and then it's held in place by floor mat foam. Then you can see that I started construction on his body, and that it's not entirely curved at the top of it. That's because the bow tie was going to go there, and it would cover up the top of his belly. And also, his body is completely made of cardboard. You can see that there's some strings that are used so I can make his jaw move. And then I use the same material I made the teeth to make these endoskeleton teeth. Also the floor mat foam to make the circular underneath bit of his endo teeth. And then you can see in there's some elastic strands. I also used some of that tubing I used for the endoskeleton of Funtime Freddy to have Bon Bon's two like poles that he has. If you look at his design, he's got these two poles in the side of his mouth, and then the elastic keeps his mouth closed unless I wanted it open. You can also see some cardboard. I use this like empty paper towel roll to use as Bon Bon's like neck joint, and it sticks all the way up to the top of his head. So here's a video of how Bon Bon works. If you see, he's got these two strings that you can barely see for some shots, but they stick into his mouth, and I pull on the strings and his mouth opens. But yeah, it's Bon Bon. And then I finally finished his bow tie. Here you can see he has this little red bow tie. The center of it is made out of black floor mat foam. Also, his button is made of the black floor. His button is made out of the black floor mat foam, and then the ends of his bow tie are made of cardboard. Then I used pool noodles. Yeah, the ones you use to take to the swimming pool. And I cut them to the size I wanted, just like I did with Plush Trap Chaser, and then I just covered them in blue fabric. Then I also used the Funtime Freddy tubing, corrugated wire tubing. Yeah, and it just looks like the Funtime Animatronics wires. Then I started cutting out the pieces for his hands, as you can see. You have the two ends, and then you have cardboard that fits in between it, and then you cover it in fabric. And then that's how I finished Bon Bon. Yeah. And I'm very happy with how Bon Bon came out. He's also got these wires in his arms that make him move his arms. They're like kind of bouncy almost. And yeah, so I also took him to school and took some pretty cool pictures of Bon Bon hanging out. And of course, Bon Bon first featured in my music video breakdown. Thank you all for watching this quick little costumes creations. If you guys did enjoy, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, or I'll tell your mom. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of how some of your favorite characters on this channel were made, go watch the whole playlist, and I'll see you all later. Subscribe, or I'll tell your mom.